Hello everyone, it is Joe here from OmniPoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. Today I'm looking at another deck with Jolteon-GX. I'm in love with the card. I'm trying to make him work however I can. Today we're pairing him with Greninja rather than Decidueye, which I've previously done. I felt the Decidueye build clunked out too much. The rare candies were always awkward, and the engine was a little bit iffy at times. Now we have a Greninja package in the deck. We are much less reliant on rare candy because Gale Shuriken helps out enough to get the Electro Bullets early. And we have the Greninja for the sort of late game. Yes, we're getting less overall damage counters at times than the Decidueye build, but I feel it really is outweighed by the fact that we get the early pressure even more often in this deck because it's so easy for us to get Froakie into Frogadier, whereas it was always difficult to try and get that headache of Decidueye out in the first place. So I feel we've cashed in on the aggression even more so than the Decidueye list with the Greninja build, and I'm all about that life. Jolteon is such a great early game aggressive card. We will take over the board if we win it early, and I think this deck can definitely do that. So let's have a look at this list. This is basically when I saw the Jolteon Decidueye in action, I felt displeased with the amount of extra snipes you got from the Decidueye anyway, so instead we're going down the Frog line, and I think it's a little bit stronger, to be honest. So we're going to have a 4-3 line of Jolteon-GX. Energy Evolution is, of course, the Eevee that we want, so we can be attacking with Jolteon on turn 1 if we go second. We have 200 hit points for a Lightning type. Electro Bullet does a 30 and 30 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I think this is really strong. We have 4 Electro Powers in the deck to be knocking out early active Pokemon, and we have now the Frogadiers in the back to get extra damage to bench things as well. So if we're going first, our Electro Bullet on turn 2 can be knocking out 2 evolving basics very, very easily. I think this just loves the early pressure and can really dominate boards, especially when people put down the likes of Ditto Prism Star. That can be really cashed in on quite quickly. He also has 2 very efficient attacks in Headbolt and Swift Run GX, both doing 110 damage. Doesn't sound like a huge amount, but we do have the extra damage buffs that we get from, again, the Frogadiers, the Greninja-GXs, the Electro Powers, the Choice Bands as well, so this actually ramps into big numbers. The Swift Run GX is an insane GX attack option that we have to prevent all damage and prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon during your next turn. This helps out with the efficiency of Jolteon-GX, because although we don't have much energy acceleration in the deck, we have 1 Thunder Mountain and 1 Koko Prism Star to make sure we can chain these attackers. We also have the Swift Run GX, which forces people to gust around this guy, which is also very good for us. So I think this is a very, very strong card overall, and I'm trying to make him work in any way that I can. His weakness to fighting is notable and scary when we come up against the likes of Zoroark, Lycanroc. We're hoping that we can Swift Run those. We're hoping that we can early Electro Bullet knock out Rockruffs and Dittos and stuff like that. That's our main intention, but they can go for Lycanroc Guzma players, which is very scary. They can pull us to the bench, then back into the active all at once, and their type covering is really awkward. So that's something that I'm not too fond of seeing, but something that we have to really put up with this aggressive deck. From there, we have the 4-4-3 Greninja-GX line. Very, very thick. We want to see lots of Froakies early. We want to get Frogadiers on turn 2 for this early aggression. We can knock out a lot of basics on turn 2, to be honest. This Gale Shuriken, putting 2 counters wherever we want. It can be used to finish off an active Pokemon that has slightly more hit points, like Jirachi's with 70 HP. We can do it against all sorts of things on the back line to make the Electro Bullet even stronger. So I think it's just excellent. So much easier, so much more fluid, this list, now that we get to have more ball search in the deck with the Pokecoms to grab these things out the gate. And we don't have to play clunky rare candies anymore. So I think it's just much, much smoother with this line now. The Greninja-GX offers the Shuriken Flurry ability. It does 3 counters wherever we want as well. So again, just more math fixing. 1 Electro Bullet plus 1 Shuriken Flurry is again knocking out 60 hit point things on the back. So it's a little bit more synergistic than Decidueye based on like just getting 1 stage 2 out compared to Deci. And we also have the Haze Slash attack, which can do 110. And you may shuffle this Pokemon and all cards attached to it into your deck. We are playing Super Boost in the list, so if you do get that high roll moment of getting the Greninja-GX up and rolling, I think it's completely fine if we have all 3 on board. The Haze Slash can be really good against some other like Zapdos decks that can't reach us, basically anything that can't reach the Greninja, the Haze Slash is a very good option. Shadowy Hunter GX does 130 to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. I think oftentimes, almost every game, we're using Swift Run GX at some point, so this will rarely ever come up. But we are playing the Super Boost, which can be one attachment if we have all three out, but also remember that Super Boost is always a rainbow for a Stage 2 deck, so we can try and combine it with like Koko Prism Star, Manual Attacher Lightning, get the Super Boost on, and we can start swinging with him as well. So although it is just the one copy of Boost, don't think that we need to get all three Greninjas out to be able to use him. We can combine it with Koko, and it becomes a little more efficient, which is pretty cool for us. Then we are playing that Tapu Koko. Dance of the Ancients is just such an awesome ability. When you're playing Lightning Energies, you should always basically cash in on it. Like I said, it's going to help us chain Jolteon's second attacks once we've done our Electro Bullet spreads, and it's also just helpful for maybe getting a Greninja or a Lele attacking if we need to as well. Speaking of which, we are playing Lele for the Wonder Tag, just for some nice consistency, and we're playing Oranguru to instruct out of low hands as well. I don't think we have space for many more other draw cards, but having this as a nice little extra card here or there can really help us out when we commit to just using lots of ball search in the early turns just to get our basics down. We have Oranguru to maybe instruct ourselves back up if we're bricking. From there, we're playing one copy of Switch. I like it just to move the chunky retreat of the Greninja-GX. One other upside from the Decidueye build is that Frogadier only has one retreat, so it's much less of a target in general for just stalling approach. Obviously, Oranguru has 2 retreat costs though, so I think the one switch to Guzma is pretty reasonable. I could definitely see going to a third Guzma as well. It's just space when you're playing a Stage 1 and Stage 2 deck. Then we're going to play 3 copies of Ultra Ball, 3 copies of Communication. This gives us plenty of search. We're playing 21 Pokemon, so oftentimes Com is live. 3 Ultra Ball as well for just more search. For Nest Ball, still very important just to get the early Froakies down. We are playing the Lily Ball engine. 4 copies of Electro Power, just ramping one-hit KOs with the big attacks and ramping early knockouts with Electro Bullet is pretty simple. And then we're going to play 1 copy of Brooklet, synergizes with the Froakie, and it adds to our overall stadium count for bouncing opposing stadiums, as well as Thunder Mountain, which is, again, just a very nutty card to get your Jolteon-GXs attacking out of nowhere. 2 Volkner, synergizes nicely, again, with all the search options we have. Getting out some of our energy allows us to play a fairly cheeky count and get away with it because we have the extra Volkner outs, which is nice. Just very flexible in a deck like this when we have so much like versatile searching options, the Electro Powers and stuff like that. It's just very nice overall. 2 copies of Guzma. It is on the cheeky side. I think especially for a deck that likes to be as aggressive as we are at knocking out non-evolving stuff, we want to gust as much as possible, but we have so much spread anyway that we can try and get around it in that regard. That's what I'm hoping at least. And we don't have much discard in the deck. It's literally just the Ultra Balls, so as long as we're careful with our Guzmas, we should be okay. Then we have the 4 Cynthia for Lily for the usual drawing stuffs. 2 copies of Choice Band for the damage buff, etc. Super Boost to let ourselves into the game with a Greninja if we really are able to, which is cool. And I think because Jolteon has 1 colorless attack cost anyway, it can just find its way onto a Jolteon regardless. It's only weaker on turn 1 where we can't energy evolve via the Super Boost. That's literally the only reason why it's weaker than a Lightning, just those turn 1 plays. And 7 Lightning. I think alongside the Volkners and the Lily build, we should be able to get drawing a good amount of times. So this is my updated sort of Jolteon spread list. I think it's insanely strong against Lost March and other low hit point decks. Like Zapdos is very weak to this because we obviously hit it for weakness and we can spread onto the Jirachis very easily. I think we can ramp into some of the GX matchups as well. I think we have to be a little concerned about Zoroark just because the Lycanroc part of the deck. I think we don't really want to see Persimmon too much because, again, we're super scared of attacking with Jolteon. But beyond that, I think we have a good amount of good matchups to be playing with this deck. So let's jump into some games with Jolteon Greninja. I was sat here for a while thinking about what sort of name I could give the deck. I've really been thinking hard about how to name decks these days, and I was trying to think of something to do with like shurikens and guns because Jolteon has Electro Bullet. So post your best Jolteon Greninja name in the comments below. I was trying to think of something. The best thing I could come up with was shurikens and shotguns, but I don't know. Doesn't really, like, Electro Bullet doesn't sound like it's a shotgun, although it is sort of hitting the active and spreading to the bench, so maybe it's right. Who knows? Someone will have a better answer than me. Alright, we're up against a Malamar deck. We are very good at spreading and knocking out multiple Malamars. Obviously, the slight concern is that they also have sort of spread options, and they have one-hit KO potential everywhere with their Ultra Squid. So we do have to be a little careful. They're putting a lot of low hit point stuff down though. A lot of good stuff for us to deal with here. Looks like they're supportless at the moment, so they're doing the double Stellar Wish. Or they have an insane hand. It's one of the two things. We're going to see a treasure. They may be going for a turn 1 Let Loose or Lele. They can Viridian, energy for energy, and then treasure away that second energy. Looking pretty smart here. Looking like a good start for them. They are just going to wonder tag. Okay, good. Good. Because our hand is pretty bonkers. They're going to grab Lily. They don't have much space for attackers, and if they're only limited to 2 Inks, that's going to be pretty good for us because we can knock out like them at the same time, really. So as nice as the double Jirachi plus Lele was for making their start strong, it's going to be awkward for them. They're actually playing Marshadow-GX, so we have to be very concerned about that. Oh, they're also playing Ultra. Okay, so it's Ultra that also plays Marshadow. Interesting. This guy really wants to beat Zoroark players. Okay, he stays napping. That's fine. Drawing another energy. We play 7 energy and we've already drawn 3, which is pretty weird. I think in this case we will use a Viridian just to thin towards a better Lily. We can also scout our Jolteons are in the deck and not have a big whoops moment. We don't mind bidding a couple of lightning because we always play Koko. We have all of our powers. We have both of our Guzmas, both of our bands. Okay. I'm going to do this. Do this. I really resent putting down the Thunder Mountain early, and I'm actually just going to forego it. I'm not going to go for it here. It's too important for us to attack Ultra Necrozma. A couple of Froakies is nice. That's going to be good pressure for us. We have Ultra Ball for next turn for supporter. I could Electro-Power again to just take a knockout, force him to find another escape board next turn. The Electro-Powers are pretty valuable on this guy though. We can just hit for 60 and hope to mop it up with a Frogadier. I think that's the best route here. Do I want to get a backup? I think we need a backup Eevee here. If we get backup Eevee, it means we sort of play our hand down and try and instruct next turn rather than Lele. I think it's better though. I think it's best. Because we could get a Swift Run GX attack off on this. At the very least. Right, he's going to start evolving his Malamars. He already has 2 Psych in the bin, so he's had a really good couple turns here. If he gets Choice Band, he's really happy. Or an extra... Oh no, he has an extra attachment anyway from this. 8, 16, 24. So he can get to the... He can already get to the knockout with this Viridian. Start surging ahead. But we have the comeback of Jolteon Swift running this guy for at least 140. And we don't mind not taking one-shots because we can always try and mop them up with the frogs later. Gonna see the Lily for 3 cards. And Photon Geyser. Pretty powerful, pretty powerful. 3 energy in our bin already. A little scary. Picking up a Jolteon is fine. We can just play it this way to draw an extra card from Instruct. We can do this, this, this. His hand size is large, so I imagine he will have a Guzma, but we can Calm in for Lele. This makes his Guzma stronger, which is unfortunate for us, but I think we're going to have to do it. I think we want the Eevee as well. Let's Wonder Tag. At the moment we're at 140. $170, $190. Cool. We can also frog the Jirachi and force them to have an extra switch card. And we'll Swift Run GX. Nice. Pretty good. Pretty good. We are still in the game. He does have a couple of Mallies though, which is a little scary. But you can see how much it's just so much easier to get these Frogadiers out than it is to get Decidueyes, right? That's the dream. Okay, so we get Psych Energy. He could respond with a Dawn Wings GX attack on our Lele here. That would be kind of annoying because we don't have our own Guzma in hand. Oh, it looks like they're just grabbing another Ultra. Okay. Ultra can KO the Lele as well. If he is able to Stellar Wish into a Guzma. If he needs it, that is. Well, Stretch is not bad either. Well, it's actually not great here. Let's see if they have the goods. They are going to Stretch her quickly. For another Jirachi. So they're probably just benching this and Guzmaing into the Jirachi and then retreating out of it. Or they could use Switch and have another... Yeah, maybe they need a second chance for Guzma. They haven't played any just yet, so they've got pretty good odds. Oh, they missed. They missed. Missed Guzma from double Jirachi. Feels good, man. That's good pressure. I mean, even if he was able to, we had developed 2 Frogadiers that turn. We were already holding Pokémon and Lily to try and get another knockout with our Jolteon. So... even then, I feel like we would have dealt with another Necrozma pretty easily. I think he needed to get a Dawn Wings attack that turn. But he still needed Guzma, and he didn't. So, that was cool. We were able to beat Ultra Squids going second. Okay, awkward start here for sure. We're going second, but it's unlikely we get the attack off. Actually, no, we can get the attack off. We can Volkner for Switch and Com for Eevee. So it's actually kind of okay. I want to lead this if we're using Switch anyway. Let's hit done. Don't really want to bench this too early. It's sort of a late game card just to push your attachments. We're up against a fairy deck. Looks like it's going to be Guardy. We can get some great early pressure against a deck like this. Eevee is huge. We definitely put that down. Ah, he put down Ditto as well. This attack is going to be so good for us. Well, their turn 1 is pretty nuts. Wow. That's a really good start from them. Just, whew, holy. No need for Elm. Just get the 4 basics raw. Let's Com in the Koko. We can use their Brooklet, which is nice. I'm using this to scout as well. Our Switch is in deck, so we'll be Volknering turn 1. We want to have a backup. One of these, I'm pretty sure. No, we can just go for one of these. I'm going to go greedy. Try and just snipe some basics. So we can bench that. We can Ultra Ball away these for another one. No. Let's not get too greedy. We don't want to get too greedy just yet. We have both our Guzmas. We have both our Prisms as well. We have 4 electro powers. Do we have both choice bands? Yep. So it's just the Froakie. A couple of Froakie pieces are prized. Ultra Ball comms. Okay. Okay. We do this. We do this. We do this. I feel like we could just try and tempo out. Ultra Ball away the lightning that we pick up, and then we can instruct a couple cards as well. Lightning switch. I feel like we could just hold the Lily instruct for 2. The one thing we don't play in this deck is Stretcher though, so when these go, they're just gone. Same thing for the Jolteons. I think we just hold. And I want to put damage... I mean, I really want to put damage on the Ditto, but I think the Ralts is also just the right move here. Let's see how he does with his turn 2 after the most bonkers turn 1. Well, looks like he's just trying to re-roll his hand. Maybe he doesn't have the nuts just yet. Fairy to the back means he can't attack us this turn, which is nice. Unless he gets Candy, Guardy, Ninetales, Switch, attach. My phone's going off, my apologies. I need to get off the Wi-Fi thing. Okay, I've aeroplane moded, we're all good. So he can Ultra Ball for a Tails and start getting some Candy Shenans down. Ultra Ball away a Gardevoir, so he's holding on to another one, I imagine. Candy Timer. Timer could get him another Ninetales. Oh, Pogs, this guy is doing good. He's playing Guardy very well. He's getting all the goods. This can get him Swampert Tails. Tails gets second Candy. And maybe like second Timeable. PogChamp. Makes our early pressure look a little silly. If he does evolve up the active though, we could maybe headbolt it for a knockout with enough buffs. Kind of depends if we want to put more energies down for the Guardies. The good news is he can only get 1 physical Guardy down right now. He needs to try and get a Curlier for this. Because Jolteon is very efficient with its attack cost. It doesn't commit too much, so it's all on him to get the energies flowing. Ninetales number 2. Rare Candy Timer to try and hit Curlier. Oh, Candy Lotto works as well to get more attachments in. He might even be taking Lotto just to power draw it away. No, he's going to play the Lotto. You can get a free Secret Spring in now. At least he attached to the bench. Tosses away a Lele. Secret Spring. So the Ninetales. Does he have Switch as well? No. Okay. Well, that's good for us. We can Brooklet. Let's grab this. I'm definitely going to take out this Ditto for sure. Step 1 of the master plan. These Frogadiers have the nice 80 hit points as well, so it stays out of a snowy wind. Let's deal with this. If we can limit them to one Guardi, it's going to really help us out in terms of how much he can ramp with Infinite Force. I don't think attached to active is wrong here. I think we'll just Lily. Nest Ball for Eevee is nice. Do we Swift Run GX is the next question. Headbolt is weak against Max Potion, but he's already put 2 of these down. Swift Run. I mean, I don't think we're in threat of a knockout, right? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 is his max ramp. So we just Headbolt here. Potentially weak to Max Potion compared to Electro Bullet. We could have just put 30 on the Guardi again. But this forces the action now. He's going to power draw away a Brooklet. If he can't pick this up as well, it could be really good for us to Electro Bullet it next turn. If he just has to retreat this. He does get a Max Potion, which is pretty pog for him. Now I think his best move is just DC retreat. Something like that. If he could spring to the back as well, it'd be nuts. He could Guzma as well. Maybe Guzma Eevee. Or Guzma Froakie if he's more scared of that. Picks off an Eevee, which is fair. He's going to spread onto a Frogadier. We're going to our free retreater. Ooh. 3, 6. Do I ever just kill Lele here for tempo? No, I don't think so. We also want to improve on this hand. I think we're attaching to a Frogadier here. We still have the... I want to draw more from Lily to ramp to a KO. And... we still have the Coco and the Super Boost in deck to maybe ramp Greninja. So that's a knockout, 369, 200. We also have 60 damage we can play with the Greninja. I think we go 3 to here. Set that up quite nicely. 3 to the Guardi. Try and get that in better range for next turn. And we're not a 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. 18 is still his max damage, so we don't need to Swift Run just yet. You can just Headbolt. Another Frogadier is nice. He's at 170. So we already have the Electro Power that we're threatening for a knockout on the Guardi, so we're still looking for heals. One Max Potion played. He brings up the Guardi. Oh, he can get the knockout. He goes 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. No, he can't. Yeah, 18's his max. He does have the potion, which is pretty good for him. See Choice Band as well. And the Lily. Secret Spring. He's got all the answers, but it's not going to be enough to KO us. it does set him up nicely for a knockout with Ninetales. If we Swift Run GX here, he could Guzma and knock out like an Eevee. So we actually don't want to com out Eevee for sure, because that can let him take 3 prizes with this. We want to use this. So we're at 140, 170. I can't reach. I do want to com to thin the hand a little bit, but we're Guzmaing anyway this turn. Pretty sure. Pretty sure we're just Guzmaing this. I could also just Guzma the Rolts. Electro Power, knock it out and put 30 on this. Oh no, because I need to Swift Run. Yeah, we need to Swift Run. Pokecom in Frogadier for no target to get us an Oranguru draw doesn't sound great. Super Boost is a genuine possibility here. Swift Run. We're down to Run Prize. He needs to Guzma and evolve up Rolts probably. It's gonna be rough for him. These Greninjas, man. These Shurikens. So cheeky. He actually promoted Guardi. So maybe he's already intending to use this. Gonna see the power draw. It's of an Elm. Makes sense. Seen 1 Guzma from them so far. They play between 2 and 4. They do have Candy Guardi. Maybe Guzma Frogadier is his best move. If he can't Guzma, he can Twilight, but that's fine for us. You are seeing some Secret Springs to the back. Might have to retreat. You might be worried about the 2 damage on this guy. Oh, he just hit into us. Okay. Well. This goes down to 180, which is still 10 off. Do we have our last Electro Power in deck? Yes. Well, that's game. Good to see that we can ramp enough damage against big stage 2s as well. That was after like pretty much the ideal turn 1 and 2 from the Guardi player as well. So we were able to beat the double timeable heads after getting the full bench into Cynthia. So that's pretty nice. Jolteon the MVP. We used 1 Jolteon the entire game and it didn't die. And that's just the power of this this deck, huh? Being able to do that. That's pretty nuts. Should we have one more game? I like this deck too much. Let's have one more. Early pressure is just fun. Yay! Jolteon's insane! I like this deck a lot. I think it's good fun. Brick's way less than the Decidueye as well, which was like the big no-no for the deck previously. Now it's chill. You need less pings than Decidueye overall, you just need them earlier. So it works. It works good. What a deck. What a deck. Ah, could be up against a Pikarom. Pikarom's a little scary. As a setup deck that we are, it's definitely scary to come up against those. Because we don't want to give a deck like that the benefit of time. Drawing into 2 Jolteon is a big yikes. Especially with no Stretcher. The no Stretcher is kind of iffy. I don't know if I need to play one. Probably should play one, but You see Tapu Koko. Maybe this is just oh, okay. He uses it just as a pivot. That's fair enough. Oh, what is this deck? Interesting. Don't know what he's playing. No energy is a bit of a yikes. We do have our Lele in the deck. Our other Jolteons here, so I can Ultra Ball one away. I think we have to Ultra Ball away our Greninja as well. I think the Electro Powers are too important to toss. Do we just get the Eevee back up? I think we might have to. Getting Froakies is so good though. I'm going to take an Eevee. Actually, I think we just get rid of Jolteon Ultra Ball here. And we grab a Lele, which is a big yikes when you're up against a Pikarom deck. That's for sure. We could Volkner just to guarantee lightning and get like Nest Ball for Oranguru, but I don't think it's that strong. I'm going to toss an Electro Power just to get some damage in. We fortunately didn't draw into our other Jolteon. Didn't find any Ball Search cards though, just lots of supporters. Just kind of yucky. I feel like benching this is bad when we have already got rid of one Jolteon. Let's just do the bullet, and I want to put it on the slug. Pretty awkward first turn for us. Didn't get any of the bench Pokemon that we're after. He's going to continue to progress his Zeraora. He could get a one-shot fairly easily this turn, to be honest, if he has the ramping tools of the Stadium, Choice Band, Electro Power, stuff like that. When you have Smooth Over, anything's possible. Smooth Over for Lily. Another Slug. Ultra was way too lightning, so we can just grab the Koko now. Yep. That's one way to ramp the damage. Oh, sorry, ramp the energies. He's going to pop them on definitely the Zeraora, and then probably just the Slugma. He doesn't want this to be in the line of fire. Oh, maybe he does. Okay. He doesn't take a knockout, which is good. Very good for us. We can do this. I think benching the Koko is fine here, just pre-Cynthia. I think we got to risk whiffing Lightning Energy just so we can try and get some Froakies down on this board rather than Volkner. Like one energy, one Froakie. Looks like we are just going down the one Froakie route though. A bit yucky. We can open up our board space with the Koko later though. I don't think this is a super boost game at all. We'll just do this. We'll instruct for 2. Oh, my eye hurts. Okay. We don't like his early pressure. He obviously can't use Plasma Fist next turn, but he could just go into a Koko GX and attack us. So I think we will Swift Run here. Try and protect our early board a little bit better. He can Wonder Tag for the Guz, so he can possibly take a knockout on the Lele, possibly. Or just get more damage on the other Jolteon. Depends how thick of his Flying Flip deck is. How much he has in there, how much he values it. Yeah, it looks like the Lele's in his range. Alongside Smooth Over. He may have some Acrobike or Judge Whistles that he could use here. Oh, he can't. He's just putting it in range of a Flying Flip, it looks like. So, has only 50, so I guess I'm gonna put the 20 on that guy. Do this. Instruct for 1 seems fine. There's not much we can really do with this draw. The Froakie means I could... Okay. We're gonna retreat. And it means we'll just dance to the Ancients for 1 target here. Just to free up the board space. Choice Band might be useful later. The Com will be useful later. This Flying Flip is going to get insane value for him, that's for sure. Could get him 4 prizes. But Headbolt is still just good here. Can we do... We could get greedy and just knock out the Koko here. I think it's right, actually. He can't Plasma Fist again. Okay, let's do it. That's the incoming threat. So, holy, okay, wow, he plays Magcargo build. This is wild. Fun to see this for sure. Pal padding. Guzma Cynthia. Ultra Ball's away a couple bands. Is this where he grabs the Koko? No, he's going to grab Raikou. I can get there with an Electro Power. Or a band. He had triple band in his hand. Nice combo. There goes our super boost. Feels bad, man. So this is our last Jolteon, so we definitely need to GX attack this turn. We're going to Com in the Froakie just to nest ball it back out. It means we can get a Greninja to KO the Raikou here. Or the Zeraora. We should do it on the Zeraora to draw more cards first. Oh, I can't... we've already used Swift Run. Okay. This gets rid of a good amount of energies, though. So, do we ever just Guzma up this Electro Power and knock it out, just to try and make it harder for him to get like a combo next turn? I think it's our best move. So I think we're setting up the Lele to finish it next turn, but we'll already get rid of our Guzma. Maybe we just take the active knockout, hope that he can't burst like a Tapu Koko GX or something like that onto the board. Okay, yeah, we have to do that. We have to grab, we already have Electro Power or Frogadier. So we just want to grab another Electro Power. So we go 20 active and we set up game in hand for next turn. The Magcargo is spooky, but we have to do this, I think. This way we just win next turn if he can't Wombo off. He can get 3 energies onto the board with his crushing charge attach sort of play. He already has Thunder Mountain. This is going to get yikes. Yikes. 2 energies, 3 energies. Lily. He did it without smoothing over. 3 Choice Band gone, but no Electro powers yet. He may be smoothing over for a switch now. Oh, he has free retreat with Zero Aura. He doesn't need to. So Crushing Charge. He needs to have 2 Electro powers in his hand. And some energy switch cards. Ah, nice. We get there. So it looks like he was just a Turbo Zero Aura. Maybe he plays a Pika Rom, but we just didn't see it. Nice. So we can just retreat. Guzma. Take our last 2. Feels good. Knocking out Lele's is just so easy for Jolteon. Nice. So another win for the deck. Some scary stuff. I think the one thing I need to try and work in is the stretcher. I think it was evident that game that we were, like, even though we were pretty ahead in the prizes, we had to be careful about our Jolteon. Obviously, we Ultra Balled one away, which is like a rare occurrence, I guess. But the flaw, the fear was there that we could have ended up being in trouble because of that. So maybe we've got to try and work in a slot for stretcher. Otherwise, though, I think the deck is really solid. Definitely a big thumbs up compared to the Decidueye build. This is way stronger, way better. Glad that I continue trying to iron out the Decidueye build because stumbled upon this combo instead, and it seems to be much, much stronger. Let me know what you think about this combo. I think it's really awesome. Shurikens and shotguns all the way. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in another video soon.